Hi, here's Alaro of Nigeria, and today we have Benjamin Mayor with us. Hi, Benjamin. Look, real quick before we go in depth, I was watching your interview on TV. So, and you made mention of the situation with the fuel subsidy being removed. I want you to shed some light on it for our audience. Go ahead, Benjamin.
Thank you, my dear brother. Before I continue with what I termed the Buhari and Dangote refinery scam, let me quickly tell you where subsidy has always been a scam. You know, Buhari government actually invested heavily on Dangote Group on an individual basis. Let me tell you this and take it home. The group borrowed 3 billion US dollar to build the refineries, which eventually cost 3.8 billion to build, not naira, dollars. Let look at this direction where fraud is coming in. The refineries were valued on paper to 13.9 US billion dollars when it was just 70% completed. Look at fraud number two. NAPC led by Malay, or whatever they call him, Malay Kayere, the statutory industry regulator, and affirmatively a competitor with four maribond refineries in Port Harcourt, Warri, and Kaduna, decided without a public knowledge or input to buy 20% share in Dangote refinery, which is corruption, which is not supposed to be. 20% share in 2.8 billion US dollar. 2.8 billion US dollar. Mark it and write it somewhere. The total amount required to revamp Warri and Port Harcourt refineries, how much was it? The federal government then titled it 2.65 billion US dollar. The question here is, what is the special interest in Dangote refinery? Look at fraud number three. The president, the then president, the Buhari himself, hurriedly commissioned a refinery that is only 80% completed. 80% completed. The refinery may not be functional until January 2024. May not. It is not certain. It might even be longer. NAPC, the industry regulator, had advised the House of Representatives Appropriation Committee that the Dangote refinery will be up and running in March 2023, and it was a certain. They were very, very sure of it. Hence, there will be no need to make a provision for subsidy in 2023 and 2024 budget. Now, you now see the reason why Tinubu is removing it without even thinking twice, without thinking of the consequences that Nigerian people will look into. Because according to this fact, the subsidy is no longer there. It is not included in the budget. Unfortunately, the refineries is not ready, and there is no provision for subsidy in the budget. At the commissioning of the half-baked refineries, Melife, the famous central bank governor, announced that Dangote had paid 70% of the loan he took for the refineries. I am forced to ask, dear Nigerians, how did the refinery that is not in operational raise money to pay 70% of the loan they took, or rather they borrowed? The Nigerian Stock Exchange does not have any record of shares sales in relations to Dangote refineries and other than the NAPC investment. Fraud number four. And before we go on, let me quickly uh, draw you back a little bit so that you can remember what happened when Dangote started selling cement. When Dangote came into cement production, the government brought in a fictitious quality standard design to restrict cement supply to his company and cut off all import. The same style has now been adopted to grant Dangote the exclusive right to supply petrol to NAPC at a price determined only by Dangote and his co-travelers. The subsidy removal was planned not just today, was planned and agreed by the government, Buhari government and his people, as a precondition for Dangote to build a refinery when the Western world is moving away from fossil fuel. The removal of the subsidy is to maximize profit for the owners of Dangote refineries. And I will begin to name them. Mark it somewhere and write it down. Buhari, Male Kayeri, Emelife, and so many of them who were in Buhari government are co-owner of Dangote Refinery. This is a very, very long story that I see very, very developing. And list of the people that owns Dangote refineries, if you begin to hear them, you know where the Nigerian problem lies. They do not care about the common man, especially the Nigerian man that want to survive, just want to pay his or her school fees, children's school fees, and have a good life. They forgot that there is no social welfare in Nigeria. They can only tell us stories about loans and palliative just to deceive us as usual. But I'm happy. I'm very happy and glad that Nigerians, especially the youth, have woken up to that extent to say enough is enough. Enough is enough. This time we will begin to speak up and we'll begin to tell government the truth, because only the truth can set us free. Like Peter Obi will always say, oil is not something that you can take and put in your pocket. It's not the sweet, it's not the chewing gum. There are people who are siphoning the government coffers, who are taking from the government coffers every day with impunity, and nothing is being done. People are the ones stealing government oil. A ship just roll into our water space, loaded for like 2 to 3 months, and just throw away. No confrontation from the security agencies. It calls for a question.